Yeah. Can you turn that? Thank you. Johnny, I'm going to mute you.
Good luck. Nate, you're so nice.
Yeah, do you want to do it right? We're going to open in like 20 to 30 seconds. We're going to open real quick, and then we'll open real quick, and then we'll go to you because we're doing it now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2016 Brent Hambrick Memorial Open Final 9. I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. I'm joined here by Paul Ulibarri. And Paul, earlier today, you saw the action taking place on the lead card with the Open men. You've been caddying for Paul McBeth this weekend. Highest rated caddy ever, best looking caddy ever, I've been told as well, according to your mom who watches. We're here and we're excited for the finals. What are we going to see?
Yeah, it looks like Paul has a pretty big lead, so I think Ricky's going to have to play pretty aggressive in order to make a run at that. And then below that we have Chris Dickerson, Nate Sexton, and...
Yeah, that rounds out our foursome of men.
And they're all pretty close. So within 4 strokes, Ricky, Chris Dickerson, and Sexton. So I think that's where we'll see more of the battle.
And speaking of aggressive play, Chris Dickerson was tied with Jeremy Colling with just 2 holes to go in that final round. And Dickerson pulled ahead, and he finds himself on this leader card. He's really all or nothing right here. He's 2 behind Sexton. Right. He's 4 behind Ricky Wysocki. He's going for it all right here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he'd want to have a couple extra strokes, but I think it's going to be fun to see him play aggressive along with Ricky. So.
All right, and on the women's side, we have Katrina Allen sitting at +6. She has a pretty sizable lead over Sarah Hokum, who's sitting at +19, and our women's world champion, Valerie Jenkins, sitting at +28. I think they're out here. They're going to be ready to give us a show. I'm expecting some big shots and the gallery to really erupt and have a good time. You ready to do this?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right, that's Paul Ulibarri. We're going to be walking around, bringing in all the action. Michael Downs is going to be making an announcement for the PDGA, and then we'll have our TD Paul make a few other announcements. Stay tuned. You're watching the Final 9 right here at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Final 9 of the 2016 Brent Hambrick Memorial Open, the 20th annual BHMO. Thank you guys for being here. Folks, my name is Mike Downs. I'm the events manager for the PDGA. I just want to make a quick announcement for our spectators. First off, we really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for coming. It's great to have this spectacle here, and it's great to have you all following so we can, really kind of put on a show for the world out there. We want to remind you guys, if you would, please pull out your cameras and your cell phones. Please check them very quickly and make sure they are set on either silent or vibrate. We want to make sure that there's a very minimal amount of distractions out here for our competitors as they compete for the championship. I also want to remind you that if you would please stay behind the players and their caddies. We also have some camera crews out here. Stay behind them as well. We have 2 leaderboards that are showing you the current scores. Please stay behind them. We want to make sure that the players and the caddies get off and out onto the course before you guys follow up behind them, okay? There's plenty of room out here. We're gonna have the great famous dam shot, so there's tons of room. Just spread out, but just make sure that you're out of the way of all the competitors as they compete for this title, if you would please. Thanks again for coming. We really appreciate you being here, and enjoy the show. Good luck to our competitors. Thanks.
And Paul J. will be next to speak in a moment here.
Welcome. I want to welcome you to Columbus. Like he said, this is the 20th annual Brent Hambrick Memorial Open. We are happy to have you here. This is the home of the Columbus Flyers Disc Golf Club. I'd like to thank them and our major sponsor, Discraft, and all our other sponsors for everything that they provided for this tournament here to make it a success that it is. Today, these folks will be competing for the championship. We will have the top 4 open men and the top 3 women. They will all be teeing off on the same hole. The women will be going first every time, okay, guys? Everybody ready then? Yeah. Want to introduce, first off, in the men, we have Paul McBeth from Huntington Beach, California. In second place, we have Ricky Wysocki, Fort Mill, South Carolina. actually from Ohio, but we have Nate Sexton from Asheville, North Carolina. And we have Chris Dickerson from Limestone, Tennessee. On the woman's side, we have Katrina Allen from Madison, Tennessee. We have Sarah Holcomb from Freedom, California. And we have Valerie Jenkins from Bend, Oregon. Also from Medina, Ohio. All right, we ready? Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. I have some of these, if you'd like to follow the final 9, I have some of these up here. You can, they're little scorecards and maps. You can follow the final 9 on those. I also have some of these up here. That is a spectator raffle. They're sitting over there. You're welcome to fill one of them out. After the final 9, we'll be drawing for a basket, all right? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
Good luck. Good luck, sir. We already did all that. Good luck.
I'm sneaking one every time. I just get another one. I'm always up for it.
I made up
Comes up
for it.
like that, it's
And Katrina Allen first to tee here on this turnover shot.
That was good.
And she's about 30 feet from the pin. And your 2012 Women's World Champion, Sarah Holcomb, second to tee. And third to tee on the women's side is your reigning 4-time World Champion, Valerie Jenkins. And Val with a rock up and over. Paul Macbeth will be first to tee. And Macbeth with a Star Destroyer forehand here.
nice shot. Didn't skip on it.
Macbeth's within 15 feet of the pin. Wysocki just deep of the pin.
Bad roll also.
Still rolling. And our 7th competitor here, Chris Dickerson, off the tee with a good-looking forehand. And I can't say that I've ever been part of a live group that consists of 7 people. AJ Risley was kind enough to work with us for the whole previews for the week. Let's take a look at what hole number 1 looks like to our competitors.
I'll hold if you want. Let me know.
I'm AJ Risley, and we're here at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Disc Golf Course in Columbus, Ohio for the 2016 Brent Hambrick Memorial Open. Right behind me is the starting hole, hole 1, 344 feet, a little bit downhill, and as you can see, there's a wall of trees on the right side that players have to navigate around. Because this hole requires a left to right arc, you'll see 3 kinds of shots from our players. A right-handed forehand hyzer, a right-handed backhand high anhyzer, and a left-handed backhand spike hyzer. Look for a lot of birdies to start off the round here.
Go in.
And we apparently have an enthusiastic gallery in the name of Sharon Jenkins out here. We also see Dad Leroy Jenkins on the bag for Val. And Hokum with a patent pending stance. And after a nasty rollaway, we see Nate Sexton is more than 50 feet somewhat downward of the pin. We believe that he is in fact going to be the furthest person out. We're not sure that everybody's been found just yet. We'd again like to welcome everyone to our final round coverage here. This is the final 9 at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open, presented by Discraft. This is our final stop of the PDGA National Tour. Both Ricky Wysocki and Katrina Allen with leads in the National Tour that will not be overcome. Sexton runs at the uphill putt, however, a low-hanging branch gets in his way. And Katrina has informed us she's off on the right side rough. She'll be stretching out to her right. She may even have to take a knee here. And of course, Katrina not needing to play incredibly aggressive here, as she has such a large margin. And a smooth stroke there by Chris Dickerson. He is your PDGA Rookie of the Year for his 2015 season. And Ricky gets the applause. Clearly the hometown favorite here. And Macbeth barely trickles in there. He's going to maintain his lead. And I suspect the women will all remain relative to where they are before starting, with all 3 of them taking pars. And Nate Sexton with the par. 4 pars, 3 birdies. We're moving over to hole number 2. We'll check in with AJ Risley, see what that looks like right here at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open.
Hi, I'm Max Nichols. This is hole 2, playing in at 546 feet. You got some woods on the left and a hill on the right, which comes into play. The only OB is deep behind the basket. A lot of the bigger throwers are Gonna be getting birdies on this hole and throw it straight, get a birdie.
Hi, I'm Matt House. You're watching live disc golf on SmashBoxxTV.
All right, folks. Hole 1 of the final 9. Katrina. 3. Sarah. 3. Valerie. 3. Hole 1, Paul. 2. Ricky. 2. Nate. 3. And Chris. 2. All right, we're playing regular hole 2 here.
Is it still in that short position?
It is in the short. Same place as we last round.
Boom.
And a great follow through here by Katrina Allen. Holcomb's fair forehand finds her in the fairway. And that is veering left. She should be okay from the left side fairway. And Paul Macbeth going out with a semi-wide hyzer. He finds himself within 30 feet of the pin. And carrying it wider toward the OB, that's got to fight back hard left. And it has done just that, but will not move down the sloped fairway. And with virtually no wind pushing in any direction out here, it is very calm. There's maybe a 2 to 3 mile per hour wind. And Nate Sexton, who Paul Ulibarri does not call a power thrower. I think he's proving otherwise here. Nate Sexton with a big pull on this second shot. A very sizable gallery out here taking in the action today. This is known as one of the most notable and famous Final Nines in disc golf. We're glad to be here, bringing it to you right here on SmashBoxxTV at the final PDGA National Tour event of the year. I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. We also would like to go ahead and invite you. Tuesday nights, join us on our podcast for SmashBoxxTV. We're live at 9 p.m. Central. We usually recap the previous week's action found around the world for the PDGA, as well as talk about other fun updates and gossip, and maybe even check in at the rumor mill, which we may or may not start ourselves. So join us at 9 p.m. Central, Tuesday nights, for SmashBoxxTV's podcast. And Holcomb with a forehand flick approach that looks to be within 20 feet of the pin. A few scattered clouds out here on this gorgeous Columbus, Ohio day. The temperatures have been pushing in the mid to low 90s throughout the entire weekend. Humidity at somewhere around 145%, as it has been very clammy out here. I've been told by the locals that is about the average or the norm, so it has been incredibly hot out here for our competitors. They have played 81 holes prior to arriving here at this final nine. 90 holes when it's all said and done for these top 7 competitors, as the equivalent of 5 rounds of 18. And Ricky with a long run there from on the hillside. We'd like to thank the PDGA as well as Discraft for not only the presenting sponsorship of the tournament, but also with the presenting sponsorship of our live broadcast throughout this weekend. We'd also like to thank all of our other supporters and sponsors that have been behind SmashBoxxTV in this 2016 season. Looking forward to a few more live broadcasts as we wrap up the year. And somehow that comes out on Chris Dickerson. Valerie Jenkins taking her 4th world title just a few weeks ago. And a solid putt by our world champ, Val Jenkins. Katrina Allen, of course, has a world championship title to her name, as does Sarah Holcomb. And Valerie now with 4, that is 6 world titles amongst these 3 women here competing this afternoon. And Holcomb's attempt is short. And Macbeth is in for another birdie. He will gain a stroke on Ricky Wysocki. We'd like to congratulate Patrick Brown on watching a very uncharacteristic short putt there by Nate Sexton. Patrick Brown has claimed the Masters title here at this National Tour event. besting Don Smith by 2 strokes. Don coming off of a solid performance in a Ledgestone Insurance Open win last weekend. And Sexton taps in. We're excited to bring you one of the most famous holes in all of disc golf. We'll be bringing you the Dam Hole. We're going to stand down for just a few moments. You're watching live disc golf right here on SmashBoxxTV.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job. Go in. Oh.
For me, it's all about the exercise.
For me, it fits into my busy lifestyle.
For me, it's my passion.
For us, it doesn't cost much to play.
For me, it's fun.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Macbeth. You're watching live disc golf on SmashBoxxTV.
3, Chris.
Good, good.
Anywhere in. Be careful because even though it's dry, this is good water.
You're the rolling guy.
I'm waiting for Sarah.
And we have moved into position here. We are at a platform up here located next to the Hoover Reservoir.
4. All right, we're playing 2-hole 5 up on the pyramid. You can tee from anywhere you want in here.
I'm gonna tee right here.
Anything that way is out of
So I don't
bounds.
slip.
Anything over the road.
Anything on or over that road. Yep.
And Katrina goes out and around with a hyzer. I think we're going to see the same from Valerie Jenkins here in a moment. And Val has thrown around the trees. The gallery up top likes it. Competitors are throwing to the elevated basket, I believe, which is typically hole number 5. And Sarah Hokum is going to take a different route from what we've seen from the first 2 women. And Wysocki, along with the rest of the open men, I'm expecting to take the hyzers wide right, as we saw from the first two women. And just tickling the treetops. Chris Dickerson with a smile, knowing that he was barely cleared those trees. Nate Sexton, last to tee. And everyone hoping for that to carry up and over. The players having a tough time with their footing, as there's plenty of room. They're able to tee from anywhere inside here. However, there are some areas that are very slick. So the players wanted to make sure that they had a good angle and good footing. We're going to move down the fairway here for our third hole of the finals.
Just curious if you got any shot at the front of your, I would love a shot of Sanders on 6 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Turn the sponsor that direction.
Oh, thank you.
We need to...
Tracks. Over here, man.
And Val Jenkins with her approach shot to this elevated pin. A solid run by Sexton, however, just low.
That's fair.
And Macbeth thought he had that. And Katrina with a similar result right off the front of the basket. Both competitors just a few inches low. And again, online is Chris Dickerson, however, that's low. And Holcomb also just a bit off. That was her putt for 3. Wysocki has a chance at a 2 here. And Wysocki seems to make up for what everyone else had done, which is throw low. His was a bit high, however, dropped down into the basket. And Holcomb is in for 4. And our entourage of golfers will be moving over to the next tee here in a few moments. We'll be back with you as we move on to the 4th hole of our Brent Hambrick Memorial Open Finals.
Hey, I'm Batman and you're watching live disc golf, SmashBoxxTV.
Ease apply.
And Jenkins' result will be similar than what we saw from Katrina. And Sarah with a power forehand here. Great looking shot by Sarah Holcomb. Ricky Wysocki takes the tee on the men's side with his birdie on the previous hole. Wysocki goes with a monster roller up and over.
Oh, it hit the hit someone?
Ricky's hoping that it hit someone or not. And Paul Macbeth with a Meadow Flake T-Bird 3. And Dickerson following suit from Wysocki, going with a huge turnover roller. And from our tee-pad area, it's impossible to see the result of that. I've been told it has headed toward the woods. And Nate Sexton just catches the top of the tree branches. Hopefully all of the other cameramen are moving out of the way for that one. Our competitors have played this hole throughout the weekend. However, this is the first time they are seeing it. I'm kind of curious as to the strategies. Maybe Paul's got some insight as to what the plan is here on this hole.
On this hole right here, this is normal hole 4. So it's, yeah, you just have to throw a low ceiling drive or up and over the top roller like those two, I believe, did. Three rollers. So it's one of those long tweener type holes. So 3's good, 2's better, 4 you made a mistake somewhere.
You heard it from Mr. Macbeth. 4 is a mistake somewhere. Right now we're still looking at Katrina Allen sitting at +6 with a 15-stroke lead for Sarah Holcomb. And Valerie Jenkins comes up just short. We'll check in with Drew Gibson. He's always good for some brilliant insight. So Drew Gibson of Dynamic Disc, what do you got for us?
I don't know. It's nice weather out here. That's all I got. Try to throw me under the bus.
And that is Katrina's approach shot, which seems to be carrying right. Then gets a skip and heads down the hillside. A light approach here by Holcomb that needs to sit down, and it has. A sizable gallery out here taking in the action this weekend. We're glad you guys could join us online right here on SmashBoxxTV. Thank you to the PDGA as well as to Discraft, making this event and our live coverage possible for the weekend. Next time SmashBoxxTV will be live, we'll be in a few weeks at Smuggler's Notch Resort, a PDGA A-tier event taking place, the Green Mountain Championships. Nate Sexton will be next to approach. I'm not sure how aggressive he can be here with this. I think he's just looking to get it close. And he was online just short. Nate would like to thank all of his friends and family, including his wife back home taking in the action, watching live disc golf right here on SmashBoxxTV. Chris Dickerson is from 55 feet just below the pin. Valerie's left with just outside 40 feet for her 3. And a solid run just off the front of the basket.
Go forget your disc.
Walking that way.
Okay.
Drew Gibson helping out, knowing that he would have been just happy to try and draw metal from that distance, so commending Val Jenkins on her efforts. And a solid putt by Katrina Allen. And Paul Macbeth with a monster birdie here, playing regular hole 4. And as the rest tap in, I'd like to remind everyone, anytime you're out here spectating disc golf, make sure you keep your head on a swivel. You always want to make sure, whether you're just spectating and walking along, or if you're doing any type of filming or photography, you always need to make sure you know of your surroundings and hopefully get out of the way of any errant or intentionally thrown discs. And our 48 competitors have all tapped in. We're going to move on to what is our our 5th hole here in the final 9. Stay tuned. You're watching the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open.
Hi, I'm Nate Sexton. I'm here on hole 5 at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Disc Golf Course. 259 feet to an elevated basket. I think it'll be a backhand hyzer or a forehand hyzer, depending on the wind. I'd like to throw my shot so I can putt with the tailwind to the elevated basket, and I'd also like to throw the shot that doesn't have the wind underneath the disc, whether that's the forehand hyzer or the backhand hyzer. I'll make my decision based on the wind.
3, Val. 4. Hole 4, Paul. 2, Ricky. Nate. 3, Chris. 3. Regular hole 5.
And our competitors have moved over to regular hole 5, which was the same pin they were putting at just 2 holes ago. Sarah Holcomb needing more distance. However, that's going to leave her a putt. And Val's effort is hung up in the tree. It did come down, however, she's going to be short. And Macbeth hits near the pin and gets up and rolls to within a few feet closer. Ricky also within putting distance. And Dickerson, the one competitor, opt for a much lower hyzer line. Seems to be very effective. Most of our competitors have gone high, spiking hyzer. And solid release there. And we're going to move on. We'll have the luxury of also giving you a whole preview of hole number 6. Again, thanks to AJ Risley for helping us out earlier in the week with some of our hole previews, along with all of our top professionals who stepped in to aid them in creating those hole previews. I believe Nate Sexton and Paul Macbeth were two of the competitors that were in assistance throughout the week. And Katrina with a somewhat of a run. Sarah Holcomb's just going to lay that up without thinking about it.
I'm a master turbo. I relied on it for like a year. You remember those dark days?
Easy cleanup for Nate Sexton. Waisaki also about 18 feet. A little positive encouragement there for Chris Dickerson. And Macbeth with the tap in. We see 4 birdies from the men. We see 3 pars from the women. And that is hole number 5. We're going to move on to regular hole number 6 in just a few moments. We'll also have a hole preview thanks to the work of AJ Risley. Stay tuned. You're watching the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open presented by Discraft.
the only obstacle to miss with the forehander right down the middle is this one tree that's about 20 feet from the basket.
And welcome back. We are here on regular hole number 6. What do you think of that, Sarah Holcomb?
What did you say?
We're here on hole 6.
Yes, and I have no idea. 3. And I have absolutely no idea which basket of the 3 that I can see we're playing to.
I'd say pick the middle one.
Yeah?
That's just a general good rule of thumb. I
Away.
think you're going to be playing regular
makes
hole
sense.
6. And Val Jenkins going with a rock right up the middle to the completely calm basket area here on 6. And Macbeth yanks that into the trees. He has a smile on his face. That was a yank.
Is this over yet?
Sarah Holcomb has a microphone of her own, apparently.
I thought you might want some to play off of. Thinking if that flips up a little more, it has a chance to go in. No, fading out, but I'll have a good little putt at that.
Holcomb with the call.
Takes the Spike Heiser route. That's the smart route. Oh, and it's still short.
All right, Sarah making her run here at our co-commentator position.
If I had a chance to practice this position, I definitely would have done the Spike Heiser. My favorite shot.
But if you pin it, you really should.
Don't go too far now. Stop right there, yeah. Stop moving right now.
Holcomb with a backhand here to, again, the completely stale flag that hangs above the basket here on this DGA Mach 3. And Macbeth with a half smirk on his face. I think he knows he's just really along for the victory lap here with just a few holes to play. And Kat showing us why she has a tremendous lead here this weekend, and even when she's not throwing picture perfect drives, she's making up with it on the putting green. And somehow that slips out on the right side. Ricky Wysocki just a bit off his mark. Sexton for the easy birdie. I expect to see the same here of Dickerson. Holcomb in for 3. And Val Jenkins with the closest to the pin. And we are going to move over to a combined hole, teeing from regular hole 7 to the pin of 8. We'll be back with you in a few moments right here at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open.
Val? 2. Paul? 3. Ricky? 3. Nate?
2.
2 and Chris. 2. All right, so we are playing to 8's basket. Normal course OBs apply, except obviously across the road here is not OB. The basin is OB. That basin, the OB comes down by that stop sign and then obviously goes around the basin like it did before. Any questions? Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Katrina Allen will be up first after the birdie on the previous hole. And they're playing the combined hole from hole number 7's tee to 8's basket with all regular OB intact. Val swinging out wider right. May not have quite the distance, however, looks to be in a very safe position. We expect a forehand here from Holcomb. And on the men's side, we'll see who had the birdies, and it looks like Chris Dickerson now has the honors. And the gallery seems to be chasing it down. And he, a mixture of reactions. We get a smirk from, I've heard it's in the tall grass. It's in the tall grass is what we've been told.
Does that mean out?
I have no idea, Nate.
This could go on the river.
And Macbeth said that this could go in the river. As the gallery is chasing it down, they've moved over to take a look. And Ricky's is hung up on that right side. I believe all of our competitors have teed, and where the sun is now busting out through the clouds, and we're going to move down the fairway. Huge gallery out joining us here for this 2016 Brent Hambrick Memorial Open presented by Discraft, the 20th annual event. Also our final stop on the PDGA National Tour here for the 2016 season. And as we move down the fairway, I'm going to catch up with one of our favorite Smashies, Sharon Jenkins. Sharon, you had to watch your daughter win the World Championships online. Where were you?
Online. I was in my living room watching SmashBoxx, so clear. I loved it and got to see every single move and throw. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Loved
So
it.
we all missed you, though, in Kansas. Why weren't you there?
Oh, well, my mom took ill early part of July, and she's my best friend. I had to hang out with her, and she's doing okay, but she still needs my love. So I'm her little nurse, and I won't leave her side.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. So well wishes to her. Now, your daughter took home the 4th world title, and I think she's pulled ahead of the rest of the Jenkins-Doss clan with 4.
Yeah.
She broke the tie.
She did. I'm a little jealous that way. I was thinking this will be my first year as a senior grand with the other Kathy Hartman.
Is that 30 and above? What are you talking about?
Almost 30. Yeah, like 30 times 2. But so sweet. Yeah, I missed that little opportunity, but I hope to hang out with these ladies at the Women's Nationals in Maine. So going up that area.
All right. It's a beautiful area. And will we see you at Smuggler's Notch as well?
Yes, you will. I mean, when they get that brew going, oh my gosh, I hope you people are thirsty because I'm looking forward to that.
Of course, Nate and Val and Bevel Brewing working again on a collaboration IPA. This year is going to be called Stable. Last year's opening IPA was called Understable.
Right,
so I think we sense a theme here.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Val is calling for. So let's rate your husband / Val's dad as a caddy. How did he do over at the World Championships?
Oh, I think he did a 1050, man. He did phenomenal. He did phenomenal. He did his job. He was there, supported her, was there when she needed him. Because he's got that little tendency to go off track. But go, Brett. Get! Good tree, Val. Good tree.
And working through the tree there on Val's second shot. Well, congratulations to you and your entire family.
Thank you.
We missed seeing you at the World Championships, but hopefully we'll see you more this winter.
Man. I was there in spirit.
All
Got
right,
her
thank
through
you,
that
Sharon.
one. Thank you, Terry.
Sarah Holcomb lining up her forehand shot. And Katrina asking for clarification from Chris Dickerson. Seems to be a little confusion as to exactly where our competitors are throwing or what line they're going to be taking. Sarah Holcomb's throwing another shot. Not sure if she had called a provisional or if she just assumed she had gone out OB, but that is carrying wide left and has found what I believe will be OB on the left-hand side. And Katrina Allen will be getting around the tree. It sounds as if it is carried down past the ravine. I'm going to go ahead and apologize now. There is some mass confusion as to where everyone is heading and what is going on here. We're trying to do our best here to bring you as many throws as possible, but I'm going to go ahead and apologize for some of our struggles here. Again, we're just moving down the fairway as best as we can. We've got players scattered throughout. I'm not sure if the players know exactly where they're going or possibly have been traveled OB or otherwise. And as we have a multitude of people, we have 7 different people that could be throwing at any given moment. It has become nearly impossible to keep track of everything that is going on out here right now. I can give you a scoring update with Paul Macbeth still 8 strokes out in front of Ricky Wysocki. Nate Sexton sitting 3 back of Wysocki at 24 under par, and Chris Dickerson is charging at 23. So Macbeth at 35, Wysocki at 27, Sexton at 24, and Dixon at 23. There's a full-blown search party taking place. I see no less than 25 or 30 people randomly scattered throughout this ravine area. And to be honest, I'm not even certain whose disc they're looking for at this point. I know there is at least 24 people all along this embankment trying to locate one or more discs. So while we stand here, I'm going to go ahead and invite everyone to join us on Tuesday nights for our SmashBoxxTV podcast. That's 9 p.m. Central. More often than not, we catch up with a winner that came in from the previous weekend on the men's or women's side in some large tournament that's taken place. We also talk about Yuli's picks, where Paul Uliberry joins our crew, and we pick the top 4 competitors that we expect to see in one of the upcoming events. We also invite Dana Vici to the show. He gives us some statistics as well as results from all around the country. So join us, tune in. Tuesday night's podcast, also available in audio format by late Tuesday night. So if the 2 to 4 hours wasn't enough to take in live, you can download it via audio. I believe there's some conversation as to some spots as to where players may or may not have last been in bounds. I apologize, folks. I normally would be filling the air here. There is uncertainty as to, I believe, where the disc was last seen, where it was last in bounds, who in fact was the last person who will be throwing. I'm going to venture over toward the action to see what I can find out. If there's been any updates that I haven't otherwise heard of. I feel like I see a number of competitors here.
Hey, Don, is he going? Oh, he is going.
All right, so sounds as if we are back on track here. Possibly, maybe Paul Ulibarri can give us an update. I think our home gallery is a little lost as to what's going on. Can you give us any updates?
Yeah, Holcomb threw a second shot that went down this cliff, and there's a lot of like shrubbery, and she threw a gray disc into the gray rocks, so it was hard to find. Paul did the same thing, but his was off the tee. And I was actually surprised that none of the competitors came to help him find it, so it took a little longer than we expected.
So has everybody been located?
Yes.
All right, well, everybody has at least been located. However, they are off the cliff side. I believe we need to move out of the way here for Nate Sexton.
Great shot.
Great shot.
A very,
Great shot. Yeah.
very well executed shot there by Nate Sexton.
Now where are we at? Sarah got half the... Okay. Okay.
Nate Sexton maybe knows what's going on. Any updates here?
I heard Sarah's thrown one already. It's found, she's thrown one, she's over there somewhere. And probably Paul's turn, or maybe Sarah's going to pitch again, I don't know. She had apparently a really brutal lie down there.
All right, we also see Don Smith in some form of assistance. I believe he was down by where Sarah Holcomb had been. We're also seeing Paul Macbeth make his way down. Hopefully there's safety is first and foremost here. We don't want to see any injuries by any of our players. And Paul Macbeth making his way to his lie. This looks like a very treacherous stance here. He's found on the hillside after carrying more than 500 feet on his tee shot. I'm thinking we're just going to see a pitch out, probably coming right at us in just a moment. His caddy, Paul Ulibarri, has been as much assistance as he can be at this point. And Macbeth simply just trying to get his footing so that he can get at his lie. And with that being said, that may be one of Paul McBeth's shortest drives of his career. And McBeth going all destroyer all the time here on this hole. The drive, the approach, and now the third drive. I anticipate he'll be both turbo putting and possibly throwing a roller with that destroyer all on this hole. It's quite the utility disc to Mr. McBeth. And the gallery has awoken from their left side fairway naps. I think we're going to be back at the action for our competitors that were in the fairway. And a great shot there by Valerie Jenkins.
Only crawl from down here, like backwards. And then just once I marked it, it looked a lot easier. Jump in the basket. Oh.
And Hokum's forehand is skipped near the right side ridge and then carried down toward the ravine again, where she had just thrown a few previous shots from. And Chris Dickerson is found his lie. He's got Will Schusterek, fellow Team Prodigy member, on the bag. And they're discussing the angle in which he can try and come out here. And we are excited to be wrapping up our 2016 National Tour event, the Brent Hambrick Memorial, presented by Discraft. Also our crowning champions in the National Tour Series. And a great approach there by Dickerson. The long grass slows his roller. Some would say that's how you slow your roll. And there's some question as to where the next lie might be, and by whom. I believe we have Katrina Allen way down in the ravine bed. She's at least 50 feet from where I'm at and 15 to 20 feet below the position that I'm currently standing on with the rest of the gallery. Paul, what's Katrina looking at down there?
A whole bunch of nothing. It looks like she's going to have to navigate through a bunch of branches and trees and just poison ivy. She's got it up in the air. It looks pretty, wow, an incredible shot really to get to 30 feet. Traditionally, this hole doesn't have OB that lines this fairway, and people go an opposite route. So I think it was a bad decision to put this OB line for the final 9, because then it didn't allow people to stay away from this cliff line.
And we've seen that this cliff has eaten a number of shots and has certainly brought this final 9 to a screeching halt.
Yeah, unfortunately they didn't have any spotters either to locate any of these discs, so it's just the competitors kind of scrambling around to find them and never playing the hole before. You could see how it could be hard to locate them.
We are now waiting on Ricky Wysocki, I believe, to locate his disc. I'm not certain if we're going to need... Are we going to need any spotters in the final few holes to maybe help alleviate this moving forward?
No, I think we're going to be good from now on. It's just that, like I said, the OB that they put lining the left side is forcing people to play safe towards the wood line. And as you can see, the wood line isn't very safe.
Well, we have I think that's officially called a gaggle of people that are now heading down this hillside.
I don't think he made it.
And Paul's going to run off and assist as well. In the meantime, I'm going to catch up with Ricky Wysocki's very proud father, Rick. I got to ask, how does it feel that your son is a world champion?
Oh, real proud of him. Real proud of him. Finally, all the work paid off.
He's been touring around and competing very hard and battling it out, and this year he's able to bring it home for you.
He's winning some battles this year. Really, really cool. Yep, thanks, man. Thanks, Terry.
All right, we're going to move and step aside. It sounds like he's been located further back from where we originally had thought, so the entire gallery is going to backtrack. And we found Ricky, spotted him probably more than 75 feet behind where everyone really thought he was. What's he looking at from that side?
I think he actually is going to have a way to navigate to maybe the top of the hill or slide in there. For someone, he's got a really good sidearm, and he's great at these kind of scramble shots, so I'm sure he'll figure out something.
When we go into any form of final 9s or exhibition matchups, what are some of your favorite formats?
I'm not a big fan of final 9s, to be honest with you. I think tee times on the final day.
Give an opportunity for galleries to come out and spectate. Is that what you're?
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel like it's a little more intense coming down the final holes when the players are all warmed up. They see how each other's playing. They know what their putt's doing, and I mean, it's just I feel like it's better for the competitor too.
Well, we are experiencing a lengthy portion here of this final 9 with 7 competitors out here today. And from one knee, Nate Sexton has thrown his approach shot. And Kat with a good run, however, just short on her uphill putt. You see a terraced green here with plenty of wood chips and woodwork. Sarah Holcomb will be putting straight back up the hill. And Wysocki hits the upper entrapment, then the bottom of the cage. It gets up and then rolls to at least 20, maybe 25 feet. He'll be looking straight up a hill and have a somewhat obstructed view. And a solid comeback by Ricky Wysocki after a very unfortunate roll. Great putt from one knee by Val Jenkins. And the last two are to tap in. We are through what I think is our 48th hole of this final 9, and we're moving on.
I heard about that. Wow.
What?
Gives that a little character now.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job. Go in. Oh.
For me, it's all about the exercise.
For me, it fits into my busy lifestyle.
For me, it's my passion.
For us, it doesn't cost much to play.
For me, it's fun.
Hi, I'm Matt House. You're watching Live Disc Golf on SmashBoxxTV.
No, that jump and swat.
I think we should have to land in the culvert. I mean, the only part of the fairway, but at least not, the rest. That's good thinking. There's no logical out.
Right, well that was the 7th hole of the final 9. Katrina? 5. Sarah? 7. Val? 4. Paul? 4. Ricky? 5. Nate? 4. And Chris? 5. We are playing to hole 4. Obviously, this is all OB, and the road is OB. All right?
And with the 4, Valerie Jenkins will take honors here.
Good job. And a huge crush here by Paul Macbeth.
Come on. Come on. Shot.
And Wysocki lets out a slight moan as he releases that's heading left. And we will be back with you in a few moments after our tee shots here on our 8th hole of the final round. We'll be back in a few moments.
Hey, this is Nate Doss. We're here on SmashBoxx, and this is Defining the Game. Have you ever heard of a mando or a mandatory? Well, this part of our game is used for 2 reasons. It might be for safety, to keep you from throwing in the direction of another tee or another fairway, a walkway, or it could be to make a hole purposely difficult. But the idea behind a mandatory is that you have to play to one side of a given object. In this case, we have a power pole. This is the mandatory. You have to play to the left of it. If you miss the mandatory to the right, past the perpendicular line, every mandatory should have a perpendicular line. You're going to go to a defined drop area. That might be a drop zone, the tee if it's close enough to it. Of course, if you make it, you're right where you want to be. But that's a mandatory. and that's defining the game.
And Val Jenkins straight up the center of the fairway here with her second drive. Holcomb with a gentle turnover that's finishing to the right. And looks to be a Holcomb looking for some indication from the gallery. Holcomb is finding herself inbounds. And in the meantime, I'm going to catch up with Don Smith. Don, you battled hard today. It sounded like Patrick Brown, though, a formidable competitor to you, got the best of you in just the by 2 strokes. Is that what I saw?
Yeah, you know, Patrick just played great today. You know, he started off real slow with his putter, and by the end, it was the complete opposite. The guy couldn't miss from 50, 60 feet. It was a pleasure to watch. It was great to battle him, and I look forward to going back to Cali and battling him these next 2 major tournaments.
Now we're going to see a number of our Masters age competitors like yourself. You're the youngest of the group out there, but you and Shasta Chris, Patrick Brown, all heading to the West Coast. We'll catch up with that in a moment after Nate Sexton throws his second shot. And Sexton looking to carry out and over the road, and he's done just that easily. Don, you said you're going to be flying out. You've spent a lot of time in the Midwest here for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, as well as a number of A-tiers. And now you going back to Cali. Is that what they say?
Yep, going back to Cali. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Chuck and the team is putting on a great A-tier at the end of the trail. I haven't played it in like 10 years, and I'm really excited to get back. And then, as you said, I'm one of the young guys, and I get to play my first Tim Selensky U.S. Masters, and it's in California. I couldn't be more excited. And I'm playing really hot right now, so I just want to get back and keep going.
Yeah, when you're on that hot streak, all you want to do is play more golf and throw down some money out on the side games and everything else. You want to get back at it playing golf. We're here during the Final 9, trying to wrap up this National Tour Series. It's been a long, grueling weekend, and we're just trying to battle through these last 9 holes.
Yes, it's crazy. And to watch these guys have to play this Final 9, I am so glad that me and Patrick and Shasta are finished, and we don't have to be out here. This is really, really challenging.
There is, and there's been plenty of challenges from us on the media side with having the safari holes and then having 7 competitors to chase after at any given moment, and then such a range of throws, anywhere from 300 feet to 600 feet by our competitors. We're doing the best we can here at Smashbox. Ricky smashed a forehand on it.
It's a roll. It could be OB, folks.
We're seeing some people run after it.
We're going to look at the crowd. And that looks safe. That looks like a safe cheer. That a boy, Rick. Flash in the ring already.
A little bit delayed there, but Wysocki does get the safe call from the gallery. Some cloud cover has come about in the last 5 minutes, and I feel like it's cooled down at least 10 degrees just by a little bit of this cloud cover. It's been beaten down on us all weekend.
Oh, wow. It's been so hot. You know, this whole summer has been crazy. And then to come here and, wow, had to carry a towel, wipe the sweat. You know, we lost our our greatest competitor, Johnny McRae, due to the, I believe it's the sulfur outbreak here in the lake. He just had an allergic reaction, you know. Sorry you had to miss this one, Johnny. We missed you out there, buddy.
And right now, Chris Dickerson is lining up his second shot. We see the competitors are all relatively loose. We're seeing with most of the matches, or should I say titles, already set in place before the finals started. These competitors are able to be a little bit more relaxed and loose during these finals. However, as Don mentioned, there's no shortage of challenge out here with these long, grueling holes, OB. And we are on our 8th hole of the finals. The final hole that you'll see here for the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open of 2016 will be traditional hole number 18. It's the same hole you've seen them finish on for the last 3 days out here during their 27-hole rounds. And one's got to appreciate the crush that Paul McBeth put on this disc. He should have no problem reaching the pin here with his forehand. And the gallery approves. And Val Jenkins is going to wave on a truck that was on the roadside here. Katrina Allen will be approaching next. She's looks to be about pin high. Of course, she's throwing up to the elevated green. And a perfect approach by Katrina Allen. That's going to be just the cherry topping here on her 2016 National Tour Series. She has dominated this event here this weekend and has also claimed the title of the National Tour here in the 2016 season with the PDGA. And the real fight that remains here is between Nate Sexton and Chris Dickerson. Sexton has 2-stroke advantage over Chris Dickerson right now, and neither are. Nate Sexton is not looking to relinquish any of that as he was looking for sole possession of 3rd place at the event. Oh, and we all wanted that to go in for Val Jenkins, just off the front of the basket. And Hokum also just a few inches short here off the front of the basket. One's got to wonder if our competitors are running out of gas here. And the Pelican putt from Nate Sexton. Folks, we're looking at just one more hole, anywhere between 3 and 4 more shots for most of these competitors. It was a long, hard sigh of relief there, Paul Ulibarri.
Yeah, and actually we got some fireworks going on the last hole. It looks like Sexton's with one of Ricky.
Good putt, Chris.
Anything can happen. All right, we're moving on. We'll be back with you in a few moments right here at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open.
Hello, I'm Drew Gibson. We're here at the 2016 Memorial Championship. I forgot what I was going to talk about.
You pretty much nailed that. Yeah.
No. Okay.
No, don't.
Why?
Go.
I'm Drew Gibson. I'm excited for the 2016 season. We're at the first stop of the national tour, and I'm trying to read it, but because I have my glasses on, so you can't see I'm reading. I'm pretty good at this. All right, I'm gonna nail this one. And then
go.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're here with Paul Macbeth. And Paul, we need a little excitement here. What's going to happen on the final hole?
I'm going to try to two it. I haven't had any good drives. I'm going to switch to a little bit more overstable destroyer for this hole. Hopefully I can get in the air and at least get a look at 2.
I've seen you throw this hole 3 times this weekend, and I haven't been impressed.
Me either. Me either. So.
All right, we're ready to go. Paul J is going to count out the call out the scores.
All right, folks, that was hole 8 of the final 9. Katrina, 4. Sarah, 6. Val, 5. Paul,
3.
Ricky,
5.
5. Nate,
4.
4. Chris, 4. I just want to thank you guys. It's been great having you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
We have Katrina Allen on the tee with a comfortable lead. And Valerie with a safe shot out into the center. And I'm going to hand the mic to Paul Uliberry, who's going to make the call here on the final 4 drives.
Looks like Macbeth has switched it up to a more overstable disc. Let's see if it pays off. Him having the big lead that he does, you would expect it for him to put everything he has into this, and it looks pretty good. He'll have about a 100-footer probably.
Still not impressed, Yuli. He said he was going for that.
Sexton up next. And he's done the same play almost every time, just kind of bailing out left. Making sure he has opportunity for the 3. Chris Dickerson on the tee. And Chris is actually going super aggressive here with a roller, and it looks pretty good. The crowd likes it, but maybe got caught up in the tall grass to the left there.
That may have been the most chuckling I've ever heard on a tee pad.
And being the crowd favorite here, I'm sure no matter what happens here, Rick's going to get a nice applause.
And Paul, he's done just that. We have our massive gallery heading down the fairway. Again, this is a foregone conclusion in terms of first place in the men's and women's divisions. However, Wysocki sitting at -25 with Nate Sexton at -24 and Chris Dickerson at -22. So if somehow Sexton could either get a long throw in or possibly just get up and down for his 3, and if Ricky were to slip up, there could be a possible tying at worst, I would say, between Wysocki and Sexton. As we move down the fairway, I want to also get out of the way our thanks and appreciation for not only all our sponsors, the tournament sponsors, the PDGA, Discraft, and all of our amazing staff and the players that let us come out and feature them this weekend. We had Justin Downey on camera this weekend, his first full-time weekend as a camera operator in the live capacity. Thank you, Justin. You were amazing all weekend. And, of course, our staple, Joe Height, along with Johnny V back at the controls. And Valerie with a solid approach shot. Katrina hanging it out over toward the road. However, it does not skip as much as she was hoping for. Now Nate Sexton's going to have an easy Firebird approach here. This is going to be a forehand shot with a Glow Sexton Firebird signature disc that he has through his sponsor. And Yuli, any chance Paul's going to throw this in and really finish with a bang?
I think he's going to give it a run, so there is definitely a chance.
And Wysocki with a simple forehand approach puts himself inside 20 feet. It's been back and forth throughout the last few weekends. Of course, Wysocki taking the world title in Kansas. Last weekend, Macbeth winning by nearly a dozen strokes at the Ledgestone Insurance Open. And this week, Macbeth also winning in commanding fashion. And Dickerson's giving this a run and draws medal. Solid shot there by Chris Dickerson. Paul Macbeth, I know, is looking to wow the crowd here. He said he wanted the 2. Let's see if he can do it. He wants to get out of here. He says there are raindrops coming down. He's making it rain. I'm not sure if that's the reference he was going for, but yes, I do feel raindrops. Val Jenkins has a long putt for 3. And the players are rushing as we feel raindrops. And a tremendous finish here by Sarah Holcomb. A nice long putt.
Nice putt.
And Katrina nearly perfect on the putting greens this weekend. Nate Sexton finishes at 24 under par. Ricky Wysocki will tap in. And Wysocki is second place finisher here in his home state of Ohio. Val Jenkins will politely tap in. And your champion, Paul Macbeth, your champion here, ladies and gentlemen. As we feel the rain continue to come down, Paul and Katrina, the champions. We'll see if we can talk to both of them here in a few moments.
On behalf of our gracious title sponsor, Discraft Disc, and all our other sponsors and the Columbus Flyers Disc Golf Club, I'd like to present to you our 2016 BHMO Open champions, Katrina Allen and Paul Macbeth.
And Paul J. giving the congratulations.
I'd like to invite you all up here for some Fazoli's on the road. We got raffle, we got ice cream. Come on and socialize.
All right, first we're going to grab our champions, Katrina and Paul. First they're going to take care of their scorecards, and then we're going to catch up with our champions in just a moment as they're doing their scorecards. It's been an exciting weekend out here, of course, and in just a few moments we're going to catch up with both Paul and Katrina. Kat, how you doing? Welcome on in. First of all, congratulations. Not only do you take the victory in a commanding fashion here today, but you also cap off the season with a national tour win. How does that feel?
Really good. In the past, I feel like NTs haven't always been my best finish, and so it felt good to play well at them this year.
You've played very well. Is there anything about this course or this track that suited you this weekend?
Yeah, I threw a lot of mid-ranges and just kind of gave myself a look all week and played really consistent golf, so yeah.
And now another big event for the women's side is the women's championships taking place in just a few weeks. Any game plan, any change, or anything you're going to do to prepare for that as you head up toward Maine?
No, I'm actually on Tuesday flying out for my best friend's bachelorette party in Kansas City. We're going to the football game, and so actually that is helping me prepare. Take a couple weeks off after Worlds and the Ledgestone and this, so yeah. See you guys soon.
It's been a grueling few weeks. Anything you'd like to say to everyone?
Just hi to my mom, all my friends in Europe watching, and thanks to everyone for the support.
All right, congrats on this weekend and on the national tour victory.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right, we're going to also catch up with Paul Macbeth. And Paul, there's always talk of the rivalry, you and Ricky back and forth. We've seen what's happened at the World Championships in the last few years. This year he takes the title, but then the next 2 weekends you come back and you win by double digits. What's going on?
I mean, like I said before, it's just really getting into that groove and getting, my game back and being healthy and finally just putting it all together. Like I said last week, I wish it was a week earlier, but I'm not complaining. There's still a lot of big tournaments left, and you got the Green Mountain and the Pro Tour finale, and then USDGC still. So those are my next 2 events, and they're pretty big. And then Nantucket in there. That's more of a vacation for me.
I hope to see you there. It sounds like some exciting fun that's going to take place there. Now, you've been spread out this year. You didn't hit every single national tour. You didn't hit every single Pro Tour event. What is that going to mean for your schedule moving forward? Is there anything you're going to focus on one more than another in the future?
I think the World Tour is my biggest thing. I like, going overseas and spreading the word of disc golf more than, being here at the National Tour. It's the same events over and over each year. So the National Tour is kind of, it's kind of stalled out right now. Hopefully there's some new events popping up and some bigger events. But with the World Tour, definitely getting to travel to more countries, seeing new faces, and spreading the word of disc golf. So the World Tour is my first decision right now, and then Pro Tour and National Tour seem like they're kind of on the same schedule.
All right. Anything you'd like to say to everyone that's been tuned in all weekend watching you play?
Always thanks for watching, tuning in, and hi to my family back home in California. I know they're watching, and then Hannah and her family over there in Massachusetts. I'll get a nice vacation here starting tomorrow.
All right, Paul McBeth, this is your champion here at the Brent Hambrick Memorial Open. And Paul, I got to finish it. One more question here. You say you always feel like you're truly a champion when you've come back and defend your title. How many times you've done that here now?
I think the last 3 years now. So it's been good to me here in Ohio and this course. So hopefully it continues to be a bigger and better tournament each year.
All right, this is Paul McBeth, your champion. And for SmashBoxxTV, we'd like to thank all of our viewers and supporters, our sponsors, the PDGA, the National Tour, along with Discraft, and of course you, the viewers. So for Joe Height, for Justin, for Johnny V back at the controls, and for myself, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, that is your PDGA National Tour for 2016.
Repeat. Yeah.
Repeat on Enrique.